Thanks, Ella, and welcome back to our Sunday gathering. Before we start, please reach out to your tens and invite them to participate. Also, please turn on your cameras so we might see your smiling faces. And now with our opening intention, Lance?
Thank you, Richard. Good morning, friends. We have our opening intention this morning from Rabash. In fact, Rabash article number 17, part 2, 1984, the agenda of the assembly. In love of friends, we should behave the same. After examining ourselves and following the known advice of praying, we should think as though our prayer has been answered and rejoice with our friends, as though all the friends are one body. And as the body wishes for all its organs to enjoy, we too want all our friends to enjoy themselves now. Look,
Thanks, Lance. Before we call on our friends to share your impressions regarding the Congress, we have a clip with photos that were shared and assembled by John. John?
Only love can cover all the wicked things we've done. Each our sparks alone in the dark will simply fade to black unless we come as one to face the rise. I know everyone knows there is a happy ending when our hearts go connecting, feeling once again. Remember when we were once all together as a people and each had love for all the others. We remember when we were all connected as a one nation, bound in love for one another. Peace will reign again. Peace will reign again. Do you remember when things were so easy then? Just as children we went rumbling through the garden. Now it seems alas something has come between us that will not allow one another to feel each other. The winds of war are blowing and we don't wanna go. The winds of war are blowing and we don't wanna go. If we keep our heart together in the dark of night and act so love between us will bring dawn to light. Now we can't deny we need the love to be strong, so when the olive branch falls we will all be one. Peace will reign again. Peace will reign again. Peace will reign again. Peace will reign.
L'chaim. Thanks, John. Now, friends, if you wish to share your impressions of the Community Congress we celebrated last week, please raise your hands. And if no one volunteers, we will call on you. So do I have any volunteers who want to share? And primarily, we're going to be calling on the women. So, Alina, will you share your impressions from the Florida Congress? You have to unmute. Okay, we'll let you go this time. Ernest, are you raising your hand or you're talking to somebody?
I am just listening to all the friends. I feel your hearts, L'chaim.
L'chaim, thank you. How about Mary? Where did you go?
Okay, I'll be the brave one. I'll start us off. I was in Syosset on Long Island and stayed with Roberta. And we had friends traveling, Shlomo and Grisha from Chicago. We heard that before the Congress. We had friends from several locations, and it was very intimate. We had a secluded area of the hotel, and just, it felt everyone was fully immersed, like so inside the lessons and the workshops. You could feel it in the air, how the intensity of this Congress and the depth of the commitment of each and every friend. We were in the basement of the hotel, but it felt like we were 100 stories above the hotel. It was such a beautiful experience, and Grisha and other friends did such a beautiful job organizing the meals, the content, Kabbalistic meal, very internal, very in keeping with the theme of the Congress. So huge l'chaim to Grisha and the men who organized that and the musicians. Everyone contributed. There wasn't a single friend who didn't have some sort of supporting role. Everyone was involved on some level. I had a interesting experience. I got, I'll say stuck, but I spent a couple of days afterward with Roberta because of the nor'easter that hit the East Coast. So that was a Congress within a Congress, this continuation of scrutinizing and workshopping what we heard and what we felt from the friends in the Congress. It was a constant Congress for another 2.5 days. So for me personally, that was extremely special. But you can see I made it home, and huge l'chaim to all the friends who made all the efforts to come to Syosset by train, by bus, by airplane, by ship. We covered it all except for the e-bikes. So many efforts and a very deep internal feeling we felt as one in Syosset. Thank you for calling on me, Richard.
Thank you, Mary. Do we have any volunteers yet?
Can I go?
Of course.
I just want to say in 1 minute, friends, many of you already saw what happened in Toronto, but I want to summarize that miracles happened that day. We have 30 people gathered together and many friends working behind the scenes, trying to find the parking during the night because people get ticket overnight in the street in Toronto. That was a challenge. The food, the music, the location, the logistics. We have great gratitude with our women because, you know, they're the foundation. So men from Toronto can complete our spiritual work. Women were amazing, preparing everything for us. And we have women from the States. We have Pam, Jolene, another lady from the States, and we have a few women from Montreal. They drove 6 hours. We have a few friends from Montreal as well, Martin. We have Alex, who is here as well. Those are the miracles that happen at that day. Friends from different locations, from US, from Toronto. Toronto is a big city, from some suburbs. And a big miracle that happened that day is Toronto 1, 2, and 3 together. There were representatives from all the three tents in Toronto, which it's been a long time to see that. So the Creator revealed himself in that sense. So for that, we are grateful that we were able to draw a little bit of light to spread around all the English Kli, B'nai Baruch, and the whole humanity, friends. I'm grateful with everyone who participated in that gathering, and I look forward to gather again because we have plans to strengthen our community. Thank you, friends. L'chaim. L'chaim.
Thank you, John. Do we have anybody else who would like to volunteer? Would you like to put up your hand? And
I'd like to say a few words, friends. I'm sitting here with you with my lovely North America Kli, and every week I really enjoy, be with you. But there is a big reason that our friends from BB, our management, asking us to meet more and more physically. So it's a big difference. I spent time, in New York, being physically over there at the Congress, and like being together with the friends, like in all the aspects of the Congress, like during the breaks, just overcoming some logistical challenges, technical challenges, or like prepare a meal, and everything what we are doing together. So it's being physically, it contributes. Even on flying over there, like just giving a ride, friends, transportation, all accommodation things, all this like little routines, above them will strengthening bonds between us, love between us, and definitely give contentment to the Creator. Michael.
thank you, Grisha. Anybody else want to volunteer? Do we have
Another
any?
Mary will volunteer.
Thank you, Mary.
You're welcome. There were 2 people from my 10 who attended physically the Congress in Salt Lake City, and the rest of us attended virtually. We used the hybrid schedule that had been developed. We attended all the lessons together. We ate our meals when the meals were being eaten. We did everything along with what the full Kli was doing. We did it virtually. We workshopped together, and it was a really very nice virtual experience. This is the first North American Congress in 15 years that I haven't been able to attend. And I was really kind of worried about that, but it was a very good connection. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary. And Sasha, you're going to be the last person to share.
Whoa, excited. So I wanted to go to New York, but with the health issues, I couldn't be able to do that. And the Carolina group had different schedule from afternoon till evening. And I want to be with my 10, and majority of the 10 was in Carolina and virtually connected with the Carolina group. But at the same time, everything is finished at 8 or 9, and I couldn't hold myself to go in the morning and connect to the other group to see Congress in real time. So I connected with the Moscow 7. So it's like buy one, get one free. I was in 2 congresses at the same time. And it was absolutely amazing that I I didn't lose the connection with my 10, but at the same time, I had like big spectrum of understanding and feeling of the Congress altogether. And I feel that this Congress uplift everyone, no matter how you do it. But thank you for participating in this Congress and being there. Thank you.
Thank you, Sasha. And now, thanks so much for sharing my friends. But now, after several weeks of a break, we once again will be led in working with our tens. Chaim?
Hello, guys. It's great to see you. It does feel like it's been a long time. For some reason, I don't know why, but it feels like we haven't been like this for a while. And it's great to see you. I've been following you guys on the pictures and in the cameras. And some of you guys are making lunch, cutting vegetables, or making food. I see you guys in the kitchen, and some with their grandkids. So it's really beautiful. It's kind of like, it's in the middle of life kind of thing. But you're all taking the time to be together with everyone. And I think it's really beautiful that you're making this effort. Really, you guys, if you can switch on the camera so we can, share each other's lives, I think it makes things more intimate. Thank you, guys. Judy, I haven't seen you in ages. Okay, so yeah, we're back discussing matters that pertain to the work in the 10. Up until now, we've been talking about, preparing for the Congress and things like that. And before we actually, dive into the work in the 10, I think we're all still kind of running on the wave of the Congress. And this is what I wanted to talk about, because Congresses have a pre-Congress effect. Usually it's all kinds of last-minute difficulties and things like that, all kinds of hurdles that the Creator places on our way to see if we really want it, and moves them away only in the very last minute after we said, no matter what, I'm going. And then there are the after effects, because a Congress is a unique experience where we open our hearts to many friends at a very intimate event, and for an extended period of time, 3 days. In some cases, as we just heard, 5 days, like in the case of the New York ladies from New York 3. And so it increases our Arvut, our coarseness. You know what Arvut means in Hebrew, by the way? It's actually a better word than coarseness. Thickness. It makes you thick. So there are situations, and this is what I want to talk about: how to use that enhanced coarseness that we have now in a positive way to lift us to the next degree. Speaking of which, the next big Congress is February 19 to the 21st. You guys know about that? If you don't, you do now. So let me just read you something real quick from Rav's words. This is something he said after a Congress, probably a big Congress, because it was probably one of the big Congresses in Israel, because it's from March 3, 2023. So it's not a big Congress. Okay, probably a virtual Congress or something like that, because it's right after COVID. Okay, so this is what I've said. The 10 should create a situation within it that awakens each of the friends to become closer and closer emotionally, to be close to one another. If we do so, we will surely advance, and each one will progress through his friend. This is called each shall help his friend, to such an extent that we will have no descents, but rather each time we will immediately turn them, the descents, into ascents. It is just like walking on our legs, left, right, for otherwise we will not be able to move forward. Let me read it again, because this is important. The 10 should create a situation that awakens each of the friends to become closer and closer emotionally, to feel closer to each other. If we do so, we will surely advance, and each one will progress through his friend. This is called each shall help his friend, to such an extent that we will have no descents, but rather each time we will immediately turn them into ascents. It is just like walking on our legs, left, right, for otherwise we cannot move forward. So this is the first thing to remember. By the way, I'm also reminding you that if you have questions, you just pop on that hand, and we will get to these questions. Also, if it's not related to this discussion, something more general about the 10, that's anything that's on your mind, just bring it on. So what is important to remember here is that the left, right, it sounds nice theoretically, but in practice, what happens is that I hate my friends. That's the left. So it's not easy to go from there to the right, to a situation where I love my friends, because that's the right. Okay? When you condemn the friends, it's the left. When you justify the friends, it's the right. For us, okay? I'm not talking about spiritual definition of it, but in our day-to-day work with the 10. That's a good enough definition. So it's not easy to change that. But even when we walk, we put in energy, right? We don't stop because we stepped on the left foot. We don't stop there, right? We're in constant motion, constantly exerting, investing energy, and continuing forward, right? If we want to get where we want to go, then we have to go through the left and the right, and we have to use energy for that. What does that mean? It means that even when I don't like my friends, I continue walking. And what does that mean? It means I continue coming to the lesson. I continue coming to the Zoom meetings. I continue participating in Love of Friends. I fake smiles. Yeah, I fake them. Don't worry, it's contagious. I speak highly about the friends, even when I don't, especially when I don't feel like that. Okay? And by this energy alone, I reach the right side. This is the meaning of continuous walking on the path in Kabbalah. Okay? That's what it means. This is why whenever Rav is asked, what is the most important thing? He always says, keep going. He talks about consistency. And this is why Bala Sulam writes that only those who had the patience, remember, from the introduction to the book, to the study of the 10 Sfirot, only those who had the patience defeated the guards. What was their patience? Despite all the revelations of the ego, they continued walking in the same direction until they finally broke through. Okay, and our path is pretty straightforward, you know. It's to be in the lessons, it's to try to love the friends, or at least work on it. And basically, that's about it. And otherwise, conduct a regular life. So those who have the patience and continue going left, right, will win, will get to their goal. The only thing is, don't quit. That's all. And okay, so that was number one. The first thing I wanted to say. The second thing is the importance of having a YH. Now, a rumor came to me that not every single 10 in the North American Kli has a weekly YH. This is a pity. Why is it a pity? Because I got to tell you, it slows you guys down. Seriously. A weekly YH is like it's like taking a bath. You wash off all the dirt from your soul just by being with the friends and speaking highly of each other. I don't know if you guys watched the lesson that Avihu and Michael Sanilevich gave last Wednesday about the agenda of the assembly. They talked about how the first thing you do when you get together is you have a round of praises. Each one praises the society, meaning the 10, or the path, or the lessons, or the teachers, just speaking highly of elements on our path. And they said there that you don't limit yourself when you do that. You let yourself go. You give each friend 2-3 minutes to pour out their hearts. It can take as long as 20 minutes. I know in my 10, it can take even more than that. Actually, the lion's share of the YHs in my 10 is praises. That's basically what we do. Sometimes we don't even have any big discussions, you know, we just, we praise, and then we eat, and then we drink, and then we praise some more, and then we sing, and then we go home. But we go home filled with gratitude and strength. And that's the point. It's like a refuel, it's like a recharge of the battery. It's a must. So every 10 should have a weekly YH, doesn't matter if it's physical or virtual, whatever, you know, framework your 10 works at. Just do that. Meet once a week to talk about nothing but greatness. If you have something to discuss, it should be in between. You begin with greatness, then you give maybe 10 minutes for a discussion. It usually doesn't take more than that, because by that time, everyone's so open-hearted that whatever problem there was, it's resolved in 10 minutes. And from there, you move into another round of gratitude. How wonderful it is that we have this 10, that we have this path, that we have this method. It's really a method by which to overcome ourselves. And that's it. You sing a couple of songs and you walk home happy. Okay, so this is very important, the weekly YH. And before I open it to questions, one more thing I wanted to talk about. One of the ways, if I fall into a serious descent, so one of the ways to come out of it, if just, the routine doesn't help, is to do something out of the ordinary, to change something in my life, to help me with a goal. For example, taking on a new role in dissemination. Here I want to talk about the importance of dissemination. It can be something else, but I just want to focus for a minute on dissemination. Why is dissemination good for us? At the moment, Rav's focus is only on the 10. He hardly talks about anything else. However, if we did not have dissemination, none of us would be here. Every single one of us, including me, is here because someone disseminated the wisdom to us. It started from Rav disseminating the wisdom, went on to his first student, and they started disseminating, and that's how it went on and on and on. And all of us are here because of dissemination. So it's critically important for the continuation of Bnei Baruch, of the spreading of the method to the rest of humanity, which is, I'm sure you'll agree, the best thing we can give to humanity, that we disseminate, that we contribute to dissemination where and how we can. It does not relate to our work in the 10. That's the spiritual work we do among us, and that's what Rav focuses on, and that's fine. But he leaves the work on dissemination for us. It doesn't mean that we don't, that there's no need for dissemination. It just means that it's on us. The onus is on us these days because he doesn't do it now. He doesn't have the energy, as you can see. And he also wants us to grow up. So we need to find ways to participate in dissemination. If we cannot do it virtually, we should find other ways. But it's important for us to try to contribute to it however we can. I know that some people put on, like in Salt Lake City, right, Chaim? They have book stands, right? Every week, I think.
Yes.
Okay, great. There are other ways to do this, to disseminate. It can be done through your own personal profiles on social media. If you don't want to expose yourself as a Kabbalah student, you can do it through another profile. Or you contact us, the English department, and you join in with the people who manage dissemination, and they'll find something for you to do. But it's important that you involve yourself in it. And there is a spiritual benefit for it, for each of us. Not only that it helps humanity, but each of us who disseminates connects himself or herself to those we disseminate to, even if we don't know them. Because we are the conduit when we disseminate. Like it or not, even consciously or not, when we disseminate, what are we disseminating? We're disseminating light. We're disseminating the Creator. Even if we don't know what we're saying, the very fact that we could open someone's heart to the wisdom we became the conduit. So if you know that there's a spiritual root, when the Anpin gives to Nukva, he gives her the light she needs, but because of it, he gets twice as much. He gets it first and then passes it on. But that's how the spiritual law works, that whoever passes through himself. There's no other way. We are the conduits. So the light passes through us. We always, we want to draw a reforming light. We think about it during the lessons and all that. The minute we disseminate to one person, we've done that. Thinking about it or not, we've done that. Because that person would not receive the light were it not for us. So it went through us, so we got it. Okay? So just know that every person that you touched, not only that person was touched by the light, but you were given additional light. So that was it for now. Okay, we have a few minutes for questions. Okay, guys, shoot. Yeah, Carl.
Okay. Yeah, it kind of goes right with what you just said. And I just want to know about, is there ineffective dissemination? You said even if you just touch one person, of course, that's effective. So do I continue with what I think is not effective enough?
The only thing that I would refrain from is dissemination that can backfire. Meaning what? If I start disseminating where I work, some people don't react too well to Kabbalah. And you never know who's going to react how. So this is where I don't take chances. I don't disseminate at work or within within my family, the closest, the close circle. My family knows, that I study. I'm not talking about my personal family; they are all in it. But in general, your family will know that you study, right? They do, even if they don't approve. But like in family gatherings, you sit together at a big family meal on whatever holiday, and then people start asking, so what is this Kabbalah that you're studying? What is it about? Just give them a short, evasive answer. It's nothing. It's about, it's a hobby. Just like that. It's something that it's interesting. It's about life, etc. Something like that, and just change the subject. Don't get into details, and and the last thing you want to do is teach them. They'll start thinking you're a preacher. They'll start thinking you are patronizing them. Stay out of trouble. Okay? Don't disseminate within your family, and don't disseminate within your workplace. It can get you fired. Okay? This is not a good idea. Right? Everywhere else is open season. Okay? Now, about effective or ineffective, if you have something more effective and something less effective, do the more effective. Otherwise, do whatever you can. Right? Okay. John.
I'll let John, but I want to know what more effective and less effective are. Do I make that choice on my own?
It's hard to say, really. First of all, it's got to be something that you like, because otherwise you won't be able to continue for a long time.
Okay.
And you'll get better at it as you go along. Okay, John, and then Dree. Dree was first, but okay, I let go, John. he's done cutting the vegetables.
Thanks, Chaim. Hey, I just wanted to follow up on what you said. The last thing you said about just one person in the dissemination. I'm part of the Buddy Project. And yesterday we had one of the recurring meetings. And it was an amazing experience. The four of us who were the Buddy guys waiting for the other students who are doing the Kabbalah Revealed, it was just the four of us. And Julia said, well, let's just continue on. So we started the whole thing, and one person joined. This one student joined, and it changed everything. All of us walked away. I won't get into the details, but it was the most amazing 5-person connection, all because we just stuck it out. And then this one student who had a voracious appetite for this came in, and the exchange and the questions were amazing. So, I just wanted to share that because you just never know what's around the corner and how the creator is going to work. And it just takes one person. So thank you.
I have nothing to say but L'chaim. Dri.
Would it be possible to get some contact information on the dissemination projects that we have and who to contact?
To get all the information, I think it's best to reach out to Asaf, the head of the department. If you don't have his contact info, just send me a reminder or something and I'll give it to you, okay?
May I add something to that? If you go to our main page and click on dissemination, and then there's one more thing to click, you'll see all the projects that are available there. And some of them will be marked that they're no longer around, but you can find a lot of them there.
Thank you, Mary. There you go. But also, if you want more details, just let me know. Okay, we have to finish, but I'm going to let Terrence ask real quick, and then we'll finish, okay? Because we have to be ready by 6:30, by 11:30.
Hey, hey, friends. Yeah, I just had a question regarding dissemination. So we find ourselves in an age where a lot of people are starting to realize a lot of what they used to cling to isn't really going to work. So I was curious about if you were somebody with a platform and it's not going to cause professional blowback, if you wanted to write like op-eds that kind of talked about Kabbalistic ideas in like a Trojan horse kind of way, but didn't present them as that, just to get people's minds thinking or maybe their hearts moving, is that something that is done? I see Rob, you all have a LinkedIn post, LinkedIn blog.
Yeah,
with Rob,
if you can write op-eds well, by all means. Rob used to do it all the time on all the big platforms, from the smallest paper in Israel to the New York Times. He would do it all the time.
Perfect. Thank you.
And I will mention that there is an active writers group that you can join.
Oh, wow. Okay. I didn't know that. Thank you.
All right. I think you guys need to speak to Mary, not to Asaf. No, but seriously, if you want more information, go to the site, go to Ask Mary, Ask Me. We'll help you guys out. All right.
It's Iva, and I will post the link to HR in the chat.
All
and
right.
the email address.
All right, there you go. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Chaim, and a special thanks to all of you. Be sure to join us on the Arvut system, where our association CEO will share some updates. See you next time. Elif?
We came from distant places, but now we're feeling near. The cloud of separations rising, things are getting clear.